We are live on 6 channels, and today we gonna talk about paid communities, how Anna does it in Discord, how Anna managed to shrink from 155 activities to doing just 3, and why, and what are the priorities, and stuff around these lines. If you write something in all of the chats, we sort of watch them. So we'll probably ask you a question if it's a good question. Otherwise, in 40-ish minutes, we'll get back to off the record chat in our Discord, and that's where you will be able to ask your boring question off the record. Everybody gonna be fine about it.
You're being so nice today.
And you're being to spinning cubes today, which is also fine.
Oh.
So,
well.
Anna, let's talk actually about yourself. You are now in Yerevan, Armenia.
Yes, I'm in Yerevan, Armenia, but I hope to relocate very, very soon.
Yeah, we're looking for that. I'm like literally entering the chat and like looking how you're trying to relocate, following the whole story.
Yeah. But I actually, I for the last few months, I became this obsessed person with relocation. But now I'm kind of letting go that story because, first of all, we have a couple of options that might work, and I don't need to stress about that anymore. And the second one is I understood that I'm being very obsessed. And sometimes
no, but for me, like, I don't know, personally, it was interesting to look like you're like, okay, I'm going there. Oh no, it didn't work. Like, it's okay, I'm going this. But it was still interesting to see what kind of options did you have. And
let's probably mention that Anna is a resident of our community, and this is the chat that everybody are referring to, different, several of them where we discuss different stuff.
Yeah, in our
and
community.
Anna's
So
relocation
join our
as well.
community and you can follow how Anna is trying to relocate.
follow my life journey.
Yes.
Yep. And that's the people channel where we will hang out in 40 minutes. So back to Anna and back to paid communities.
Yes.
Recoon FM.
Yes.
We're not here to be nice. And this is how you're putting that.
I agree with you.
I like it.
I like it.
I like the take that we're not here to be nice. Can you talk a bit more about why being nice is not good? And like how do you convince people to pay you money to join your community so you're not nice to them?
Yes, I will gladly tell you how people are appreciating our approach of not being nice to them. So, first of all, I think we need to start that Recoon is a community for podcasters. So, it's a place where podcasters are coming to get feedback, honest feedback about their podcast, understand how they can grow their podcast, and a lot of stuff. Find out a good technology for that podcast because podcasting is a very, very fragmentized experience. You are unwillingly, maybe you don't want to, but you kind of have to use different tools just to make your podcast and run with it. So Recoon was created specifically for podcasters, and the starting story was actually pretty interesting. We wanted to build a product for podcasters, and we had no idea how to get feedback on our product. And my co-founder actually went to Reddit and posted on the subreddit podcast saying, "Hey guys, we will listen to your podcast for free, and we will give you an honest feedback." And although there was a separate thread, a weekly thread where people were submitting their podcast to kind of get an honest feedback, we got actually 60 to 70 requests. And that was an aha moment for us because podcasting is a very lonely road. And when you're just starting, you kind of don't know what are you doing right, what are you doing wrong. Maybe you don't have the good structure. Maybe you don't have a good intro. Maybe you're kind of trying to grow your podcast in a niche that's not that big. And there are a lot of questions. And where our not being nice part comes in is usually what we heard from our members is that we ask our friends and family to listen to our podcast and tell what they think about it. And they'll all say, it's nice, it's great, you're doing fine. And when someone unbiased listens to it, they actually don't have that emotional connection to them, and they don't have to be nice and say nice things to them. And that's how our tagline was created. We're not here to be nice. We're not saying that everything is fine. We are actually trying to help you improve and learn about not only podcasting as a technical process, but also how to grow it, how to find your niche, how to maybe structure a podcast in a better way for your niche. So that unbiased feedback is what we call that we are not nice.
So basically, I have a question. So if I'm coming, for example, to you with my podcast about, I don't know, like rocket science or something that you don't know, and like, can you help me with that? So you're gonna, I don't know, tell me how to make a structure better, how to make an intro better, or okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
if
that
you're
makes sense.
coming to us with your rocket science podcast, we're actually researching what are other podcasts who are in the same niche as you, and we see how they are performing. For example, in Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, they are usually ranking you based on your popularity. And we're going to the niches that you're operating in, seeing what other people are implementing, and we're actually coming to you with ideas on how you can improve it. If we see that, for example, science-based podcasts, and we have one science-based podcast in our community. They're usually not very long. They try to provide bite-sized information, or they're mainly interviews with scientists that talk in a human way. So that's just an example of what we do. We see what works in your niche, and we try to give you feedback based off of that.
How come you end up with having a community? How come you had this idea to start running a community?
It was just a very snap decision because we had, as I mentioned, we have 60 to 70 requests, and it was very hard to manage all of them. And at the beginning, we actually did not have a community. We started a YouTube channel, Recoon, which we are currently not very updating. But we started with a YouTube channel on which we did a live stream. And we understood that people were coming and they were communicating in the chat, and they were starting to talk to each other in the chat. But when the live stream was over, the connection was kind of lost. And we just, based off that one live stream, we understood that we need a place where people are actually talking to each other. And we wanted to sustain this place. Again, we wanted to build a product for podcasters, and we wanted to have a unified place where we kind of redirect our members and also other people who are coming to us. So that's why we decided to kind of create the community from scratch.
Mm-hmm. And could you describe a little bit more like your community, where you host it? Is it Discord? Do you do some audios there? Well, I guess you do. Yeah, just a little bit on that.
Yeah, our community is hosted on Discord, and it was a very straightforward decision for us to go after Discord, just because I myself, I know what are the best community platforms out there, what people are using in general. And for our specific case, because we needed a lot of communication, like not only audio communication but also video communication, because we are doing meetups, semi-regular meetups with our community members inside of the community. We wanted a place where we can have audio and video channels, so we can maybe transfer our live streams from our YouTube channel to our community. And we wanted a place that can be easily monetized. So we started the Discord community, and then we discovered Memberful, which was our provider that helped us to monetize the community in the beginning. But then we understood that we're paying too much money to Memberful, because they are not only charging $25 a month, but also a transaction fee. And after that transaction and also the Stripe fees, it was coming to a very big amount at the end of the month. So we decided to, first of all, get rid of the Memberful, and kind of we created our own onboarding flow, which was now people are filling in Typeform. And at the end of the Typeform, they are paying, and at the end of the payment, they received an email which has the invite link. So this is
Okay.
how our community is working right now. I guess you can say a bit manual. We don't kind of have ever a lot of automations around it, but it works for us. It's cheaper than it was with Memberful.
And it was paid from the very beginning, from the very start?
It was paid from around 1 month. After 1 month, we had this huge flow of podcasts that wanted to get our opinion, and we just understood that we can't manage that big of a flow. And we decided to do what a lot of actually paid communities started this way. They decided that they are getting too much members, and the only way to sustain the quality and the quantity was just to add a paywall. And we added a paywall, and immediately after adding it, we launched on Product Hunt, and it was a pretty successful launch. We got a few paid members from that launch, and yeah, that's how we went paid.
259 upvotes on Product
Yeah.
Hunt. Can you talk a bit more about launching on Product Hunt, since it's hard
It
to
is.
launch on Product Hunt, and you have a lot of comments, a lot of feedback, a lot of support. Did you campaign to get it, or did it just happen because you're so awesome, or what's the secret?
The secret was actually we both, me and my friend with whom we are managing the community, we both have a quite big network in our local Armenian community, but also I had my Twitter account, and I had kind of a lot of people who I supported and who were there to support me when I was launching something. And I think with Product Hunt, it's a lot of people think that it's the end all be all of your launch. Like, this is the big day of launching on Product Hunt, and this is the big day when I will get a lot of upvotes, a lot of attention. But it is important to get a good launch on Product Hunt. But the fun part actually comes after that, because after the launch, you still get a lot of traffic on your website. And if you are lucky, you get featured on their newsletter, and they feature you on their Twitter account. And you get a lot of requests, like good and strange requests at the same time. Some people try to sell you something, and some people try to get interview from you. And we actually got a few interview requests from small newsletters that were running in the podcasting niche, and we kind of did that too. So the Product Hunt launch, as I mentioned, we did it on a very spontaneous note. We added the paywall, and because we knew that it's not the end all be all for our existence, we just next day, literally maybe the day after that, we just pushed the launch button and we went live. And basically I was tweeting all day. My co-founder, she's in LA, so when I went to sleep, she started tweeting. And it was a very interesting combination of 24-hour launch for both of us. And that's how we did it. I guess.
But did you get to the top of Product Hunt or to some other top charts, or was it just like a few sales that you did? Like, what's the outcome beyond the dopamine?
Beyond the dopamine, oh my god, the dopamine was crazy. I can't tell you how much dopamine I got. Like, at the end of the day, I got a headache, such a severe headache from all the tweeting and all the talking about that thing. But we got to top 10 products of that day, and we also were featured in their newsletter. And I don't remember actually if they tweeted about us, but we were on the newsletter for sure.
Yeah. So Armenian community, you're awesome. You support people like Anna.
Yeah.
You have my respect, very deep respect. It works.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to make the community paid? Because this is not a very obvious question, and this is something that we've been thinking not in a sort of like apply to our community, but just thinking as interested, interested in this type of monetization model. So how you come up to this decision?
So we had a big flow of requests to review the podcasts, and we kind of decided that it's the best way to contain the flow is to just put a price tag on it. And it actually decreased the flow dramatically, like dramatically.
Yeah, I was about to ask this, like how much percentage decrease?
It was
So yeah.
very, very dramatical decrease, but at the end of the day, I think it was a good decision for us because we want to create a product on the back end. We kind of already have a validated idea and a validated price that people are ready to pay for our product. And that's first. And the second is, I think running paid communities in general is very hard because people are not just joining for the community. And if they join, it's a very rare example if they join just for the community. Usually paid communities come with, I don't know, paid courses that are becoming free when you join the community, or I don't know, big library of digital downloads or a product. So paid community in of itself is not a usual thing that you will see. It's community is usually a feature in a product, not a product itself.
For the product, stay for the community. That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what
So
they
it's
say.
like a softer journey into the sales, let's say.
Yeah, it's a software journey into the sales. Second, you understand what people are really ready to pay for. When you're saying we have people in our community and we also do this thing that is like feedback to podcasts. And also the second one, we actually at the beginning we were offering it's automations and helping people with to automate their podcasting stack. We understood that actually we might have a hypothesis that people really need the automations, but at the end of the day, they were still coming for the feedback. So we're kind of this way, we're understanding what people really need. And right now, podcasters mainly need to understand how to grow, how their podcast is actually performing. Like, we're not there to be nice. Again, we will say if they are like doing strange things on their podcast. So that's having a paid community is very good way to validate your idea and validate your feature sets if you, in future you want to also add a product to it.
Oh, by the way, do you feel like any pressure having like paid community? Because I don't know, I think that if I would have paid community, I would feel that I need to give people something more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like even pressure right now that I'm not entertaining people enough, even in our community, even though it's for free. Yeah. So I'm thinking like, okay, if you have a paid community, do you feel any pressure? Because the expectations of people probably are like kind of higher because, okay, we are paying, so we want something more than just.
I gave you $5. What is my joke? I gave you $5 this month.
Give me some stand-up jokes.
Yeah.
I have heard the microphone joke already 30 times. I need more.
I
What is the
already
new
caught my
joke?
microphone. Stop it.
And people, if you joined and saw this in a few tenths of minutes, we are closing the show and moving to the off the record people's channel in our Discord. That's where we're gonna go haywire. What you have just seen, it's not haywire just yet. It's just a light demo.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Imagine what you can get for $5. What is the price for the community? I see on the website it's 75 euros, right? One-time payment.
Dollars. It's one time
Dollars.
now. Yes, we actually changed the model from paid from memberships to one-time fee because people are not very interested in if they are coming to get one-time feedback. It makes sense for them to pay one-time fee and just get access to the community rather than increasingly get charged for one or two feedbacks that they're getting. So that's how we decided to change our pricing model. But actually, we got a few requests from our community members that were saying, if you had a Patreon page, we will be happy to support you with $5 or $2 a month. Yeah, that was very nice when we heard that. So maybe we will be adding like very low tier Patreon functionality to it. Not right now, but in the future we are thinking about it.
Maybe we should also make a Patreon. I don't know. Maybe we can force somebody to pay us $2 or $5. No, no.
You can write a bot that is like spitting out jokes once per month.
But you already have some options for $1 and for $3, I think. What was that? Oh, Craig just left us.
Craig left
Okay.
us.
Bye, Craig.
Yeah. What was the question again? Sorry.
I was asking, I saw that you already have some options to buy something for $1 and for $3, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken.
I don't think we had one. I
No?
have a separate thing that I'm selling for $6. No, $7 if that's that's a thing that you may be. So I made a handbook for audio first communities, how to run, grow, and manage audio communities. And that's I'm selling for $7. Again, one time fee. But our community never had a separate tier for $1 or $2.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Okay. So it's like the second your activity that you're interested right now, the making the book about
the three activities I've so I don't know if I don't think a lot of people know me, but I'm kind of known not just in this server but on other communities as well as a person who does like 10,000 things at the same time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that led me to a huge burnout last year. Like for a whole month, I was not able to do anything. I was just a waffle sitting on a couch watching Netflix.
And that's how you know the skip intro button.
I'm a master of it. Yeah, I watched The Crown. I watched every show that I could find on Netflix, and that forced me to kind of cut everything back. Basically, I cut everything back. I had a podcast about communities, and I stopped making it. I kind of right now also have a platform where I have a directories, a community directory where you can submit your community and people would discover you. I still have that, but I'm not very eager to. I'm maintaining it, but not in that aggressive way that I was maintaining it before, like promoting left and right. Now I'm only writing my newsletter, and I'm only focused on building the product that we want to launch because I'm the engineer. And
yes, you're engineer. Yes,
yeah, I'm the engineer.
I mean, to me, that's the most interesting part. I mean, we've been talking about Anna like she's, the business person, the hustler, the community expert, but actually, and like the audiobooks, yeah, and actually, she like you're in the back end and DevOps, right?
Yeah.
That's your main specialty.
Yeah, I'm a full stack founder. How? That's the question.
How many lives have you lived? I mean, by
just this one right now. It's going fine as of now.
Yeah,
okay.
with your 155 activities. So yeah.
Well, cut down to 3. Yeah. And no, I think while you can be that person that has a lot of interests, I think it's important to understand what can you monetize, first of all, because not all your hobbies can be monetized. And second of all, what brings you joy. And in my case, writing content and writing code bring me a lot of joy. And that's what I decided to focus on, is instead of spreading myself on all imaginable channels, all in imaginable places, like
like starting a mastermind group. That's the latest thing on your community weekly newsletter.
Yeah, by the way, off top about newsletters, I don't know, I just remembered that. I'm sorry. I was scrolling them and I really like how you're writing in the end, like with love from Armenia. I'm like, oh, that's so cute in person. Yes, and like with this heart. I don't know. I just wanted to tell this. Just read her newsletters. I don't know. It warms my heart so much for some reason.
I see a lot that people are putting in the bottom, like with love, made with coffee and love, and that's it. Okay, I'm not a huge like coffee drinker, but I make with love, so make with love from Armenia.
But it's still like it really caught my attention. I was like, okay, that's very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
so
you can go.
What are the I will let me go.
Okay.
So what are the three main activities that you are going to focus on? Because you keep mentioning that
Yeah.
you just highlighted the three of them.
Yeah, the first one is my newsletter, Community Weekly. The second one is the product that we're building. We are actually right now even in the stage where we're rethinking all the functionality. So I don't know when that will be launched, but we're building that product. And also, I'm very into writing digital downloads like books, ebooks, and small guides. So I want to dabble into that, like making small, like digestible ebooks, or I don't know, Notion templates or templates for anything, basic or Airtable basis, and sell that as a standalone one-time payment product.
And where's engineering part in those three activities?
The building product part is the part.
Okay.
And the product is automation pretty much of the consultancy service that you provide on the podcasting,
Yes,
or that's
something
something
like that.
different.
Something
Okay.
like that. Like we like to call it podcast management system. We don't know or podcast CRM, because there are CRMs there. We have a tagline. Just a second. Oh my god, what was that? There are podcasts about CRMs, but there are no CRMs for podcasts.
Okay.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Can we sign for a beta testing? Since for our Baltic Founders live video series, we have to ship it to the older populations who haven't figured out Twitch just yet. So can
You
we
are
can we can we start can we try your product, or can people watching us try your product while it's in alpha or beta, and perhaps
when
support
yes.
you?
When we will be on beta, as your community is deep in my heart, you will get access to that product
So
for sure.
cute.
Yes,
Thank you very
I'm actually
much.
bragging about you a lot because I like how you build the community. I feel myself in home here. That's why I'm aggressively typing a lot. That's my love language, aggressively typing.
We will have to wrap it up within 10 minutes and get to the off the record, but you people are still invited to join us in the Discord community. What do we ask Anna about before we leave?
Can I
Probably
ask
we
the question not related to communities? Because that's the question that
Of
bothers me
course,
a
you
lot.
can
Since
go.
you're
Yes.
yeah, okay. Thanks for the permission. So the question is actually about podcast and audio first communities and everything. Since I don't know, Clubhouse is getting super popular, right? Have you noticed that people started investing their time, money, and resources into running podcast more, or it's not really affecting? Do you think that's a big deal or not really?
I think, like, first of all, I can tell you what my tech bubble, like my tech algorithmic bubble, is feeding me. So I
Yeah.
would like to preface that. So my tech bubble shows that because we have a community for podcasters, we see that a lot of people are really interested in podcasting. But actually, if we do a research and see if the podcasting is the medium that is the most monetizable, it's bringing the most income or not. Sadly, right now, audio is not that much of a monetizable channel. I don't remember what was the resource. It was either the influencer marketing or some website like that. They did the research of how many podcasts are actually getting monetized. And first of all, a lot of podcasters are dropping off their podcasts around the 10th episode. So there are a lot of abandoned podcasts. And second of all, podcasts usually get monetized when they get some to the substantial amount of downloads per episode. It starts around 1000, and just to get to that number, it's very hard because first of all, podcasting is a very lonely journey. As I mentioned, you are just broadcasting your podcast
Mhm.
to the people, and you rarely get feedback. And that's why actually a lot of podcasters naturally start communities for their podcast, just to get at least some kind of feedback about what they are doing. And as for Clubhouse, I think they definitely added to the hype of audio and podcasting in general, and seeing how Discord communities are used now, because a lot of people who want to start community actually pick Discord because it has that feature built in, like audio and video channels.
Mhm.
So I think it will get big, but for me right now, Clubhouse is a bubble, and that once a lot of people, enough amount of people will get access to it, it will just become like something like Telegram, because Telegram also has community building features. Also, audio, you can do video calls and audio calls on Telegram as well as a community. So that's just my opinion. It's nice when it's so exclusive. It's nice when a lot of Silicon Valley dudes are on that rooms, like Elon Musk is there. Oh my god! But when like regular Joe who has just a podcast about being a dad, for example, there are a lot of podcasts on that theme. So when that Joe gets access to it, I think it will again become this oversaturated channel, and people will need to find other resources and places to promote themselves. That's just my opinion.
Thank you for your opinion. It was really interesting to know. So, do we wrap it up and continue our conversation about paid communities in the People channel, or what do we do next?
I want to wrap it up with the following. So, what I've heard is that paid communities is a nice thing, and it's a good filter to figure out if people actually value what you're doing. And it's quite easy to do on Discord. Discord has all the features around it. If you want to automate it and plug it into your payment system, that's fine. If you want to plug it into whatever else you're doing, like newsletters and everything, that's fine. And yeah, we should probably talk about community retention mechanics and everything else, but let's do it just right now off the record. Again, you all are invited to join us in People's channel in our Discord, which
Yay.
is here. Which is here. We are joining this channel right now. See you there.
Yes.
Okay.